The night started quiet, but by morning, the internet was on fire. Every gossip blog, every YouTube live, every fan account, talking about one thing only. Tasha K, the woman who never whispers, only detonates. And this time, she didn't just drop tea, she spilled gasoline. According to her, she has proof. Not rumors, not whispers, but something far more dangerous. Real DNA evidence that could shake Mendeecees Harris and Yandy Smith to their core. Nobody saw it coming. No one expected that a single live stream could flip the entire love and hip-hop world upside down. But that's exactly what happened. The moment Tasha K hit go live, thousands flooded in, waiting for that smirk, that slow sip from her cup that always means one thing: somebody's about to be exposed. Her tone was calm, her words careful. She didn't say everything, but she said enough. Enough to make people gasp. Enough to make people start asking, did Mendeecees lie again? Within minutes, comment sections exploded. Half the fans were ready to believe her. The other half accused her of chasing clicks. But nobody could look away. That's the thing about Tasha K. Love her or hate her, when she speaks, everyone listens. And when she hinted at a hidden paternity test, when she used the word DNA, the energy shifted completely. Meanwhile, inside Yandy Smith's world, things were falling apart in silence. People close to her claimed she had no warning, that she found out about the so-called DNA leak the same way everyone else did, through social media. Imagine scrolling your feed and finding your name trending beside the word betrayal. One insider said she didn't cry, not at first. She just went quiet. The kind of quiet that's louder than a scream. And Mendeecees? He vanished. No posts. No responses. Not even a denial. That silence spoke volumes. Fans started combing through his old interviews, his old captions, his deleted pictures, anything that might explain what was really going on. Some said he'd been acting off for months, dodging cameras, skipping interviews, even unfollowing certain pages. His friends noticed the shift too, the tension in his face, the restless hands, the kind of guilt you can't filter away. Then came Yandy's cryptic posts. "Sometimes the truth is closer than you think," she wrote. 7 words that turned the internet into a detective agency. Comment sections became crime scenes. Every emoji, every punctuation mark became a clue. Fans started pulling old clips, revisiting scenes where Mendeecees looked uncomfortable, where Jasmine Washington appeared too tense, too knowing. It felt like the show was bleeding into real life. According to Tasha K, what she saw, or claims to have seen, wasn't just gossip. It was documented. A file, a screenshot, a test result with names attached. She didn't show it, not yet. She just smirked and said, "You'll see soon." That one sentence was enough to send fan pages into overdrive. Threads popped up everywhere. Justice for Yandy, Mendeecees exposed, and the now infamous Jasmine receipts. Behind the scenes, Yandy was said to be keeping her circle tight. No statements. No interviews. Just private talks with friends, long nights staring at her phone, and that blank expression people wear when they've been blindsided. One friend claimed she spent the night writing in her journal, trying to separate rumor from reality. She doesn't know who to believe, they said, but she knows something isn't right. The internet didn't care about caution. They wanted blood or closure. Bloggers reposted screenshots from Tasha K's live. Others claimed they had exclusive inside info. Even YouTubers who never covered love and hip-hop were suddenly experts. Everyone had a theory. Some said Jasmine had been quietly messaging Mendeecees again. Others believed this was just a stunt, an orchestrated storyline gone rogue. But what kept people hooked wasn't proof. It was possibility. The chance that maybe, just maybe, the cameras didn't catch everything. That there were secrets buried deep beneath the edits. And then came the picture. A grainy image of Jasmine Washington wearing a small silver bracelet. At first it seemed harmless, until someone dug up a photo of Mendeecees from last season, wearing what looked like the exact same chain. The internet did what it always does. It zoomed, cropped, and compared. The lighting didn't even matter. To fans, it was enough. Proof or not, the story had a heartbeat now. The chaos reached a fever pitch when an alleged insider claimed that Yandy had begun to suspect something weeks before Tasha's live stream. They said she'd asked quiet questions. About late-night phone calls. About unplanned absences. About why Mendeecees seemed to flinch every time her phone buzzed. But instead of confrontation, she chose observation. Waiting. Watching. In public, she smiled. In private, she broke. That's what made it haunting, the duality of it all. How someone can host charity events with grace while privately wondering if her life's foundation is built on lies. And through it all, Tasha K kept her audience dangling. She hinted at screenshots, at voice notes, at messages that would make you question everything you thought you knew. Every tease sent fans back into a frenzy. She became the narrator of chaos, and everyone else, Yandy, Mendeecees, Jasmine, became characters in her breaking news opera. The next morning, the story wasn't just viral, it was everywhere. Entertainment blogs, podcasts, radio hosts, even verified celebrities were chiming in. One co-star from the show posted a single emoji, and that alone reignited the storm. The line between rumor and reality had vanished. People who'd once celebrated Yandy and Mendeecees as one of the few solid couples on Love and Hip Hop now questioned if it had all been a facade. Was their loyalty real or scripted? Were their vows genuine or just another storyline? For the first time, it wasn't about entertainment. It was about emotion. Yandy's silence felt like heartbreak. Mendeecees' absence felt like guilt. And Tasha K's smirk felt like power. By the end of the day, hashtags were trending worldwide. The show's producers stayed quiet. Castmates stayed cautious. And fans stayed obsessed, refreshing their feeds for updates that never came. The suspense became the story, but here's the thing. When silence stretches this long, it stops feeling like strategy. It starts feeling like confession, and that's where we leave it for now. As the air thickens with unanswered questions and one name, Tasha K, still echoing across the internet like a storm that refuses to die down. The second wave didn't arrive with shouting. It arrived with silence. A quiet morning where the timelines went still as everyone waited to see who would speak first. Yandy Smith, Mendeecees Harris, Jasmine Washington, or the hurricane herself, Tasha K. Hours passed. Notifications buzzed and died. The stillness felt staged, like the moment right before lights slam on and reveal what's been hiding in the dark. And then, one tiny thing broke the spell. A half sentence in a story from Yandy, gone in 60 minutes, saved by 1,000 screenshots. It wasn't a confirmation. It wasn't a denial. It was a feeling. "Let the truth stand without me," she wrote. The internet read it as resignation, or resolve, or both. Behind closed doors, people said Yandy was asking surgical questions. Not yelling, not accusing, just cutting clean lines into a messy situation. What time? Who called first? Where were you? That kind of interrogation doesn't break fast. It burns slow. Friends described her as steady, almost too steady, the way a person gets when tears won't help and silence says more. Yandy Smith has built an empire on composure. Now composure was the only shield she had left. Mendeecees moved like a man counting cameras. Every public moment felt weighed, measured, risk-checked. He smiled, but the smile didn't touch his eyes. He showed up, but he didn't linger. When someone asked a question that hovered too close to the rumor, he pivoted. Not a sprint, just a clean sidestep. The internet saw that footwork and called it guilt. His defenders called it wisdom. But even his defenders couldn't ignore the pauses, those long inhales where a single word might have cleared the smoke and never came. And then there was Jasmine Washington, present through absence. No posts, no lives, no clapbacks. Just a vacuum the size of a headline. Which of course made the noise louder. People stitched timelines together from tiny fragments. Old photos, quiet follows, sudden unfollows, turning crumbs into cliffs. A bracelet here. A caption there. A look exchanged in a scene most people missed the first time. The collective memory of the internet became a courtroom, and Jasmine was the exhibit everyone argued over. The exhibit everyone argued over. Meanwhile, Tasha K played maestro. Not by dumping everything, but by dangling just enough. Mentions of files, of people who were there, of dates that don't match the public story. Every hint sounded like a key rattling just out of reach. She repeated one idea that stuck with the audience like gum on a shoe. "You don't need me to tell you. Your eye's been telling you." With that one sentence, she handed the gavel to the crowd. And the crowd loves a verdict. Producers stayed quiet. Too quiet. Which sparked a new theory. If Love and Hip Hop wasn't scrambling to swat this down, maybe they were saving it. Maybe the cameras had captured more than anyone thought. Or maybe there was nothing to swat down. No receipts, just smoke. The uncertainty did the work for them. Numbers climbed. Channels grew. Lives got longer. Allegations traveled faster than explanations ever could. What no one could see was the cost. People close to Yandy Smith said she was sleeping in fragments, journaling at 3 a.m., catching sunlight in short bursts like a plant in a hallway. She wasn't unraveling. She was inventorying. What is true? What is speculation? What is weaponized editing? Her power has always been poise. Now poise had to become armor. And still, under the armor, there's a heartbeat. Yandy has loved this man in public. Yandy has defended this family in storms. There's no easy script for grief that might not even be grief yet, just fear with a fake mustache. Mendeecees Harris, for his part, was said to be making private calls. Not press. Not bloggers, family, old friends. People who speak to his younger version, the one from before brand deals and TV credits. Those conversations never trend. They don't get clipped, but they change things. Apologies soften edges. Explanations complicate them again. And somewhere between those two, a man can lose his footing. If Mendeecees was steady, people called him cold. If Mendeecees bent, people called him guilty. There wasn't a lane left that didn't sting. Jasmine Washington, the third point in this triangle that refuses to close, seemed to understand the math more than anybody. Say nothing, and she's a suspect. Say anything, and she's a confession. Reports said she was talking to counsel. Not because criminal smoke was in the air, but because reputations are living things and need bodyguards too. The absence of her voice became its own character. Every hour she stayed quiet, the audience wrote 10 more chapters without her, and the audience, Lord, the audience, worked like an unpaid newsroom. They froze frames from old episodes, circled faces in red, compared jewelry like detectives comparing tire tracks. They stitched TikToks that turned into dissertations. For every gotcha, there was a "that's a reach." But reaches can become ladders when enough people climb them. That's the danger. That's the thrill. When Tasha K went live again, she didn't break the dam. She just tapped it. Context coming, she said. Not just a file. A sequence. A sequence. The word hit like a siren. Because a single screenshot can be explained. A sequence is a story. If she really had one, this wasn't an argument. It was an edit timeline with dates. In that space between promise and proof, you could feel the three lives at the center trying to breathe. Yandy Smith posted a photo with no caption. Sunlight on a floor, a coffee cup, a book left open. People read it like scripture. Self-care, one person wrote. Goodbye, wrote another. Mendeecees liked a comment that said family first and unliked it minutes later. Too late, the screenshot had already flown. Jasmine's location tag flickered once in a friend's story, out of state, then vanished. Blink and you missed it. The internet doesn't blink, and yet under the noise, something steadier was happening. Friends trying to get Yandy and Mendeecees in a room without cameras or phones. Not to perform, but to speak. They say when it finally happened, the conversation came in waves. Periods of careful honesty and long silences where both of them stared at the same spot on the table like truth might appear there if they waited long enough. Mendeecees answered what he could. Yandy heard what she could bear. Nothing got solved. But sometimes not breaking is its own kind of progress. The show goes on. It always does. Castmates posted gym videos, promo clips, unrelated selfies with suspicious timing. One used the eyes emoji again, just to stir the pot. Another wrote a prayer. That's how this world works. Optics and algorithms dancing while real people try to sleep. By nightfall, the question wasn't what happened. It was what matters. If Tasha K drops a bomb, will it be truth or a fuse that looks like proof? If Yandy Smith speaks, will it be catharsis or kindling? If Mendeecees Harris holds his line, will silence save him or bury him? And where does Jasmine Washington fit in the story that turned her life into a scavenger hunt? Here's the uncomfortable part. No matter what's revealed next, some people will never move from their corners. Some will always see a faithful wife and a reckless husband. Some will always see a targeted man and a media machine. Some will always see Jasmine as a plot twist with a pulse. The truth can be plain as day, and still, perception will stage a rebuttal. But there's a smaller, quieter truth sitting in the middle of all this chaos. Betrayal doesn't need proof to hurt. Rumors alone can bruise the inside of a home. And when a million strangers assign motives to your face, even a good day starts to feel like a cross-examination. So the timelines refresh. The clips loop. The receipts wait in someone's drafts. Tasha K keeps her audience on a leash made of promises. Yandy Smith holds her poise like a lifeline. Mendeecees Harris measures words like they're live grenades. Jasmine Washington breathes in the quiet. knowing quiet is never quiet for long. If there's a reveal coming, it will land the way all reveals land. Too loud for the people at the center and never loud enough for the people outside. Until then, what remains is the hum of speculation, the ache of uncertainty, and a fragile hope that when the talking is done, the truth, whatever it is, will be enough to stand on its own.